allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. We call upon you, Lord, up in heaven, to send a blessing down to all in attendance tonight as the dew fall. And by receiving this blessing, this meeting will be conducted in an honorable, respectful, and trustworthy manner. All of this we ask in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Approving minutes from January 20, 2026, public meeting.
I move.
Any questions? One time, two times, three times, we'll go on it. Jody?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Gibbs absent? Donnie?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. A public hearing, consider the, council consider an ordinance as follows. An ordinance to approve the non-warranty cash sale agreement for a property adjudicated to the town of Gold Meadow from Hill LLC, and the Trellery's Dewey, Brad Joseph Dewey, upon open succession of Al Dwayne Thibodeau Avenue and Van Boulder, 24 LLC, Manny Thibodeau, dedicated to the property owned by Brad and Sandy Dewey, pursuant to Louisiana revised statute, into the amount of $49,855, and authorize the mayor to sign executive administrative sale, cash sale, and any and all related documents. Okay, we have a public hearing of this piece of property. Anybody has any comment or any objection? This is the time to discuss it. One time?
I just wanted to advise the council about that exception. Do I do that now? I'm gonna wait till my public hearing, public comment,
You can say it now.
whatever you want. So this, just so you know, this exception to the general rule of sales of adjacent property by public sale is for what they call a good neighbor exception. So it's an adjacent property owner who is maintaining the property for at the minimum of a year, which that you would be agreeing that Mr. and Ms. Jewett have been maintaining that property for a year. She's eager to execute her act of cash sale. She said she should have brought her check. I think it's, in just knowing the history of this property, the costs associated with the adjudication and the demolition of the structures that previously existed there. And I commend the ways to maintain the property that doesn't belong to them, to the town, so.
Good deal. Okay.
That's
Good. Anybody else have any comment? Council, good. If not, we have a motion to get out of public hearing.
I move.
Move by Mike,
Second.
second by Jody. Roll on. Jody.
Aye.
Nancy.
Aye.
Mike. Aye. Gibbs absent. Donnie.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Excuse me, that was a sign problem. Council consider approving the ordinance as follows. The ordinance providing a non-warranty cash sale to agree the property dedicated to the town of Gold Meadow for the Bill and LLC, Sandra Sullivan, Dewey, Brad Dewey, a open succession of the Al Dwayne Thibodeau Avenue and Ella Holding 24 LLC. Tammy Thibodeau to adjudicate property owner Brad Dewey and Sandra Dewey, pursuant to the Louisiana revised statute 472202D in the amount of $14,855, and authorizing the mayor to sign executive administrative and said cash sale and any other related documents.
I move.
Motion by, Mike, second by Jody. Excuse me. Any questions? One time, two times, we're going to Jody.
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Gibbs absent, Donnie?
Aye.
All right, congratulations, Chad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Go for keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
you gonna handle it?
Yes.
what is the reason behind
So
that?
I've got this, sent his phone number, I'll call him tomorrow, it's just, I'll do two separate sets of signatures, because they will sign and all.
Okay. All right, good. Nomination procedure, self-interest planning, no?
First property is BC 1078. This property was condemned in June of 2025. The demolition bid was awarded to DM Construction, and the town's council sent interested parties notice of the demolition to be on or after December 5. The January 20, 2026 meeting, the council voted to have the town's attorney come up with a recommendation and requested that the owners appear at today's meeting to give an update on the property. So I'm not sure if there's anything in the
I
recommendation.
think that, she is here.
Is she the home or the property?
Okay, so in looking at the title to the property we need to fix. So my advice is that the town should not demolish the property until the title issue is corrected. That we proceed with a condemnation against the right people. We have Elma Willis Billiard Griffin here, and really, it's Elma Billiard Griffin and then Willis Griffin. It's two separate people. So I just wanna make sure that we do that correctly before we demolish anything. The second, and I do believe that Miss Rochelle is a descendant of one of those people. So that is helpful, because if we can fix if she can have the successions completed, she could be potentially an owner of the property. I did have, I'm gonna just call him an anonymous benefactor from the community who reached out to me, who was, if the successions could be completed, they would recommend Ms. Rochelle to be receiving funds from potentially by a community foundation to help her fix her home or building a home. I don't know, I don't wanna get anybody's hopes up, but that the person sought me out, which means that it's definitely on my radar. I think someone from the council contacted me. So I'm hopeful. If you give us a little time, I think that we can probably get this going in the right direction. So listen, by next meeting, I will have you two property owners that I believe her succession needs to be completed in, and then I can maybe get some input. I can get by the community foundation and see, because I was told they still have funds available. So maybe like get her the application to start that process.
Okay.
So I would say we could do an update, ask her to come back for next meeting, Ms. Rochelle. Did you hear what I said?
A little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna determine the two proper successions that need to be completed. We'll need to find a way for those successions to be completed, to have the property put in your name. And then someone from the Bike Community Foundation reached out and said that they would look into helping you either fix the property or rebuild it. I'm not making you a promise. I'm just saying that they said that you potentially could qualify for the program. And so if you do qualify, we want to make those connections for you so that, you can fix the property and stay in the town.
After the last meeting, they're gonna call, I talked to somebody about it, the whole situation, and they gotta figure out who they think.
Yeah.
Email it, and I gotta.
I just think the Rebuild South LaRouche program is probably going to be an easier program to navigate than FEMA. They're a nightmare. So, Ms. Rochelle, I would suggest that the council ask her to come back next meeting, and then we can touch base again.
Did you think?
Ross was supposed to call.
Plan on making this a family tradition.
He gave me your phone number, and I tried to contact you, and it said that you were not accepting calls. So before you leave today, if you can give Kyle your right phone number, and then I will touch base with you. So if you can leave your phone number with Kyle back there on the paper, I'll give you a call. Okay?
Feel free to call anytime.
All right.
I'll see you at 3 this morning.
Okay.
You good?
She does realize that she wants to open a succession, right?
Yeah, we will talk to her about that.
the recommendations
I would
of,
say give it 30 more days.
I'll make a motion to give her.
I second.
A third.
Like, what's today? Today is the first meeting. Okay, so that's what comes to go into the next meeting or do
See,
you
we
want to
taking
do the
stuff
first?
out of the building complex.
starting the conversation, you said we need to start all over again, right? Because we gotta have family members there.
Before we demolish it, Mayor, absolutely, and so next meeting I should have that for you.
Okay. We need to vote, just give you the dates back. Just want to.
Yeah, so either the motion will either be y'all want her to come back next meeting, or y'all want her to come back the first meeting in March. Either way, I'm gonna have the information for the new person.
Okay, but when the mayor's asking, you need a motion for us to.
To get more time.
To go to the rightful owners.
If you want to,
If
yeah.
you wanted to,
If
go
you
to the
want
rightful
to.
owners.
And I apologize for sort of stepping in here. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I'd like the opportunity to, before you vote on it being on, as in there's another owner, I'd like the opportunity to go back and double check our work. I'm not saying I can't make a mistake, but I feel pretty good that the procedures we follow, we can mess things up.
So you need more
But
time?
well, before you go and move saying we need to go get other owners, our information says there's an estate. That was the owner of the property. We would just like an opportunity to just double check the work. If I might recommend, let's not make a motion to start all over again. Let us double check some things.
Well, that's what she was asking, so that's all we're sure of.
Yeah.
Just to get more time.
For now, let's like give until either next meeting or the first meeting in March, and then Mr. Tom and I can work out what we think the ownership.
How much time do y'all think y'all have?
I'm,
There's a motion made by Jody or Mike. Nancy.
And March the second.
March the second, and second by Connie.
Yes.
All right, any questions from the audience, one time, two times, three times? We're rolling, Jody. Nancy.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Absent. Connie. Ayes have it.
Aye.
All right, good. Get some positive stuff for you. All right.
if you want to come into the office, Mr. Michelle, we can. Yes,
Thank y'all.
you're welcome.
PC 1094, property was condemned September 25, the motion to award to begin construction. Town's attorneys sent notice of demolition to begin after December 31. January 2026 town meeting council with the demolition, our CBO has an update.
This is a little shed behind the house, it's not there anymore, it's removed. I recommend we take this off of the condemnation.
Move to.
Second.
Moved by Jody, second by Connie. Any questions? One time, two times, three times, we're rolling, Jody.
Aye.
Nancy.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Gibbs absent.
Aye.
Connie. Ayes have it. All right.
Okay, DC 1085, this property was condemned in September 2025, at the December 1, 2025 town meeting, the council voted to give the owner until this date to make more progress in tearing down the building or perhaps making repairs and construction. An update due today, and CBO has that. That's 1085.
Okay, this is the, concrete building. He has almost all of the roof down, he's got columns inside, looks like it needs to be taken out. I recommend it stays on the condemnation list until everything's completely finished.
You look like you took some off, you still have a little more to do.
All right, need a motion.
Yeah, but if you don't wanna give 2 weeks, 30 days,
When he's doing what we asking him to do, so I'll make a motion that we give him till March 2nd week.
I second.
Motion made by Mike, second by Jody. Any question? One time, two times, three times, Jody.
Aye.
Nancy.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Gibbs absent. Connie.
Aye.
All right.
All right, DC 1080, property was condemned in June of 25, demolition bid award to be in construction. Town's attorneys sent notice of demolition to begin on after December 7th of 2025. In the January 20 meeting this year, town council voted to move forward with demolition vote earlier than today's date. Mr. Gibbons.
When I went by this morning, I noticed that on both sides of the building, I was able to see inside the building, he's knocked down part of the walls on both sides. They do have scaffolding up in the back, you can see where it's taking down part of the roof and, part of the floors on the second floor. I recommend that it stays on the condemnation list until everything's completed.
So this construction filed an appeal of the notice of demolition, in district court, which is set for the end of the month. I think Bryce said that we were served with it today, is that right, Tracy?
I did not see.
Oh, okay. As soon as I did, and I have a copy of the order that the clerk redacts the petition, so as soon as I get an unredacted copy of it, I will forward it to you, then you see. I've been speaking with Mr. Watkins, I think there's a question as to whether it's timely filed, so we'll just look at that issue. And there's also the opportunity for us to work something out with Mr. Sharpton as well. So, by next meeting, our next meeting will be before our court date. Maybe we can set an executive session for that meeting to discuss, just options for the council to consider.
All right.
So the demolition is stayed until the court date.
Be a reading on the second,
What's that? The 18th?
the 18th, the next
Yeah,
one.
Right, so that 18th meeting will be before that court date. So if we have executive session that day.
I'll make a motion for that.
Okay.
There's a motion by Jody, second by Donnie, any further discussion? Audience one time, audience two time, audience three times, we'll go on and Jody.
Aye.
Nancy.
Aye.
Please have it, Donnie.
Aye.
Have it. All right.
Okay, BC 1082, the property was condemned in June of 2025. A demolition bid awarded to Beam Constructions. The town's attorney sent the owner a notice of demolition to begin on or after December 5th of 2025. At the January 20 meeting this year, the town council voted to give them until this date to make more progress on both these structures and cleaning up the property. And that's what we're doing today.
The little blue buildings, the one that he wants to work on is still in the same condition within the other building. They now have two trailers out there, one where they're putting trash and something's gonna throw you away. And the boards and the wood is gonna keep, you guys stacked on another trailer. The whole middle of the house is now gone to the floor, so it only has the other two sides to it. But I recommend keeping it on the condemnation list until everything is complete.
Yes, you got a question. You didn't know that he put a power on the roadside?
I didn't
They
see,
said he was gonna, yeah.
I didn't see nothing on the road today.
No, we got him before that.
so we need to give them the time. That's
Let's ask for another update on our next meeting.
that sounds good.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Donnie, second by Nancy. Any questions? One time, two times, three times, we'll go on, Jody.
Aye.
Nancy.
Aye.
Mike. Aye. Good job, Donnie. Ayes have it.
Okay, for the next four properties, that's BC 1054, BC 1084, BC 1027, and BC 1074. All of these properties have been condemned. I'll tell you what, let me back to that. They all are condemned, but let me just do them one at a time. BC 1084, the property was condemned in August of last year. Demolition bid awarded to Adams Land and Property Management. Council voted to those demolitions were sent out by the town's attorney in December 2025 for January 5, 26 meeting. Council voted to give the town's attorney to send out another notice of demolition. That was sent and served by Golden Meadow PD. At the January 20, 2026 meeting, the town voted to give the owner until February 18th to make more progress. So an update is due on February 18th.
Are you reading 1054 because the bids
I'm
were not?
1084. Oh, I'm sorry. skip it. I'm sorry, I apologize, 1084, I'll go back to
Finish 1084.
Okay, so it's just, there's no action necessary, there's gonna be an update on February 18th, for 1084. In 54, this property was condemned in August of, 2024. At the December 15th, 2025 meeting, the council voted to open demolition bids. It held off on accepting any. At the January 2026 meeting, the council voted to give the owners until February 18th, meeting to make more progress in tearing down the structure.
Can I say something now? I went right today, it's down, it's a man. It is really. I'm gonna try to talk to them before the 18th meeting, and try to clean it up a little bit. So, that's all right.
Clean it up a whole lot.
You might need to figure out.
Since you put it that way, yeah.
So, there's no actions necessary in that, the next update is on the 18th. On BC 1027, the property was condemned in June of 2025, and demolition bid was awarded to be in construction. At the January 2026 meeting, the engineer advised that the owners had started the permit process, and the council voted to give the owner until February 18th meeting to make more progress. So there will be an update on at the next meeting, February 18th. There's no actions necessary.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
So she has applied for the permit, but she applied for what in her mind she had left to do, which is just put the roof panels back up on. So it got to South Central Planning, and they found out that story, and they figured, well, no, it's gonna be a commercial permit that they need. And then they said, well, we need to make sure she did all the other stuff right, so they are in that process, so
It's
they're
in
working
review.
on that. It's being reviewed.
So, thank you. With regard to 1027, as of this meeting, there's no action necessary to take. And then finally, on BC 1074, this property was condemned in June of 2025. At the December 15th, 25 meeting, the council voted to open up the demolition bids, but voted to hold off on accepting any for this property. At the January 2026 town meeting, the council voted to give the owner until February 18th, meeting to make more progress. So there's an update due on February 18th meeting. There's no action set, no action necessary in this agenda. And Mr. Mayor, that concludes our report.
All right, Mr. Tom, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Tom, Mr. Stadwood? All right, Tom? Thank you. All right, building commissioner, we don't have any operational license, hot rod, Robert, Chin Robert, 214 South.
Believe me.
All right. Questions? One time? Two times, you're on, Julie.
Aye.
Aye.
It's out. Aye, now. Fire concession limited stand, Jared and Michelle Ducey, 2621 North Bayou Drive.
My only comment about this is, I don't know who Jared and Michelle Ducey were, but the property that is listed in 2621 North Bayou Drive, I don't know if that's where the occupational license is being asked to be like, that's where they're asking to conduct the business. Okay, that is the same address that the property that the town condemned for Mark Sharp and Chase, so my advice and the Superintendent's advice would be that the town not approve this occupational permit, because we have declared that it's the decision of the council that the property is not safe in public. And so, that would be our, suggestion to the council.
All right, legal opinion? Permit? The occupational license?
So, yeah, the question is whether the town approves the license.
So it's your recommendation not to?
That would be my recommendation, Bryce and my recommendation.
I'll move. What?
sewer phase 7, we're getting close to the end of that paperwork. As y'all know, the grant requires minimum wages to be paid. The contractor had, I think, just one person that was under the wrong listing, so they have to get that straightened out. And once that's done, there's a few other pieces of paper that need to be signed, but South Central Planning is working.
We're also scheduling a closeout hearing for this project for the next meeting. It has to be done before March 31st.
So at your next meeting, y'all will have a public hearing, so anybody in the public can come and talk about this particular project. Okay, the mitigation project for the seawall, we got a word last week that the Delta Regional Authority has chosen not to provide funding for this project. We will continue to look for other avenues and means to find that.
Want to move it from the agenda? Until we find out?
We should have been fine.
My recommendation.
It's up to the council.
Yeah, it's up to council, but I think you're going, Delta Regional denies and you're going to fund somewhere else, there might be another division, you know?
We might, yeah, we're talking somewhere.
Right.
I'll make a motion to remove number 2 from the agenda.
Motion made by Mike,
Second.
second by Nancy, any question? One time, 2 times, 3 times, you'll vote on it, Joey?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Chris, Allison, Connie?
Aye.
The FMA grant, project, which is the big drainage project, we're still trying to get FEMA to review that. Trace has been helpful in trying to track down who we people we need to talk to, but we haven't found that quite yet. The sewer phase 8 project, the contractor's contract has been signed. We expect them to be on site on Wednesday. The capital outlay for the Armand LC drainage project, we're still waiting on permits. We are still pushing that as much as we can, but it's hard to get government to move very quickly, especially when they're on the federal. FEMA, we still kind of waiting on FEMA to tell us what to do next on that project.
I emailed Ms. Steiner also down at her voicemail.
Yeah, I emailed her, I think in December, and I haven't heard anything back yet. Sewer phase 9, we have submitted that funding request, and that is being reviewed by the revolving loan people, the same people that provide the funds for phase 8, so we're hoping to get some positive news from them. And the capital outlay funding request, that starts in April, I believe, that the legislative session, and once we get out of that in June, we will find out which ones of those will get funded.
All right, John? Any questions for John? Any questions for John, when we call our attorney report?
Adjudicated properties auction set was for bidding February 11th to February 13th. The bidding is still one for every property with the exception of the Meadow property, on Martin Street. And so, I'll send all of you the information on how to properly, access that. And then I can make a note that for next meeting, I can bring, I think Mr. Gerald had asked maybe some sort of documentation showing members of the public how they can access this bidding list and where to look for that. So I'll bring literature. And then item number 2, discussion and possible ordinance introduction regarding permit timeframe consistent with condemnation proceedings. So Mr. Oten and I discussed this. He was here at last meeting when I think that Mr. Billiard might have brought this up. I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn. Someone brought it up. This is an issue that is kind of a topic of discussion in the Mark Sharpington litigation. So it was Mr. Oten and my recommendation that we not pass any ordinances or anything until that's been resolved, just so that we don't muddy the waters and what rules are applicable. But yeah, so the question would be kind of, a permit, you can operate within a permit within a 6-month time property either, repaired or demolished. And so I understand that there probably should be some, the two should probably coincide with one another. That it's just our suggestion that we kind of maybe defer that issue for a little while. So I don't know if y'all want to keep it on the agenda, or if we want to set a reminder to follow up with that in 3 months. It's really up to you as to how we do that. But that would be my suggestion, we just not do that.
The thing I had with the permit, some of the properties, it's on Central Plan, we gave them time, and then all of a sudden, now you need a permit, we should have said that from the beginning. Not wait till, that's just something I was thinking.
Yeah, I think and I'm just speaking for myself, but I feel like I started hearing the suggestion of getting permits more when Mr. Bertrand came, our previous person. Maybe, he may have talked about that with property owners, I just didn't hear it in the meetings as much, so, and I think he came on around September, so I think that's a little bit of it.
If you file an ordinance, you get a permit for everything.
Yeah, they should have told them before they even,
Not them that
get a
should.
permit.
I think it's,
Well, we should have told them.
I really think it was had to do with the hurricane
When
and
they
the
go pass, when they
damage.
go pass the buck to somebody else's around this table here.
Well, I know the engineer, they mentioned, I'm gonna go to the sheriff's property. They're fixing, all of a sudden, no, they need to get a permit. You should have said that from the beginning, they need to get a permit. Before it started.
I honestly think they kind of lucky they didn't have to happen from the storm to
Well, I mean-
so, and now we have to do it, it's dragging on and on, so we have to draw a line at some point, so it's time, get a permit, get it done, or,
Correct.
yeah.
Do that, if they get the permits,
So that's on us
I think that
moving
has to do
forward,
with the storm.
that's on us going forward, we have
Maybe we
someone
can
coming up
measure
and
that.
I'm we'll get you a permit, that way, it's not on us, okay, I changed the roof, okay, but you didn't do the box, and no, they go get a permit, they can do everything they do.
It's our job, we ride around town, we see somebody do something, I can get a permit. And then, right, they'll protect them. Okay, Mike, what you want to do, you propose, you want to pull up, leave it on the agenda, leave it on the agenda, bring it up later?
Yeah, we get off, I'll bring it up later.
You go home.
I'm already done, I don't think that's.
You don't think-
I don't think.
There's a motion made by Mike,
I'll say.
second by Nancy, any question, one time, two times, Jody?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Keith Bassett, Connie?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. Okay. Chief of Police?
January stats, we had 27 cases, 121 calls for service, 8 arrests, 58 tickets with 75 violations.
Any questions, Chief, on this? All right, continue, Chief.
Right, y'all propose having a public hearing about the low speed vehicles, and one of the things I stated was that I wish I could get a copy of the law for y'all. I did bring it tonight. If you notice, this comes from the Louisiana State Legislature. I printed it from that website. Part A states that they can cross an intersection if the speed limit is not more than 45 miles per hour. So I want y'all to see that, so y'all can make a decision on how to move forward. I know that when it was brought up, Representative Mojan said DOTD is for it as long as nobody is on the 4 lane. So that's why I y'all should see this. So
Well,
the
when I went to the meeting, back there was a committee meeting, that was one of the questions. Then when nobody came back. Now it's one of the biggest questions. And if you wanted the back road, it wouldn't pass.
right.
It was question about, I don't know what to do. And it could be,
So that also counts for special event?
I would-
Technically, yeah.
That's a permit.
Yeah,
So
so
y'all would have to get a permit for it.
it's kind of like two separate issues, really. So crossing 32, 35 on a side by side is against the law.
riding on the back road.
You should not, yeah, that would also be against the law. But whether the town wants to allow side by sides to be in the park or not is really a separate issue. Because
body that does.
Right, no, but I'm saying theoretically you could, so we can't make the two things are, so like I spoke with Joni and she told me that sometimes like for events, they'll have people will bring side by sides and trailers to the park to police the event, you know, like, so, I don't,
I agree with you, it's two separate.
it's really two separate issues, so.
So, one of the special events is that the parades. So we're gonna do the Easter parade, that we're gonna parade through town. They are escorted to the park. So that's one of the special events, that's one of the things that we're,
Is that like part of the parade permit?
part of the parade permit.
Okay, that would be.
So,
But you do it illegal, you're crossing the road.
You need
If
a
you don't,
permit.
if you don't
But
let
they're
the
being-
public, nobody should be able to do it.
But they're also
Especially
being
if they go with
escorted.
the trailer and don't do it.
They're also being escorted, but one of the suggestions that I said was, they can ride on LA one all day long, so we get to the end of the parade route, turn around and go back on LA one, go back home, get your vehicle and go to the park.
Yeah, make it fair, make it fair.
Mr. Gerald?
I would like to address the council and people in attendance pertaining to that subject. I looked at this issue, I read the ordinance, and I read the proposed form for inspection and registration, and I've been thinking about it since the last meeting. I'm a type of person that likes to analyze things and research things, and make sure before I act or speak on any matter that I'm speaking, I guess you could see from a standpoint of knowing what I'm talking about. And just to interject something here before I start, I read this book, How to Test Negative for Stupid and Why Washington Never Will, by John Kennedy, our honorable senator in Congress. And I read the whole thing, I sat in my office, I closed the door because I was laughing as I was reading, hearing his notable quotes. And I mean, it just tears you up. I've read joke books that aren't that funny. So when I got through the book, I threw it on my desk, but I didn't put it like this. I turned it over. Oh, I said, look at here, some more. So I started reading through them. After I read through all of them, one of them kind of hit a point with me. He says, always follow your heart, but take your brain with you. So I said, well, I better take my brain tonight and try to explain my point of view. And I hope I did. But anyway, I'm not selling a book, by the way. I got this from the library. But anyway, taking that into consideration, my heart is with the town of Golden Meadow. I always want the best for Golden Meadow and to see us progress. So I looked at this first thing, I said, look, I said, the people brought this up to the council. They wanted to utilize, I call it a small ballpark, LA1. Why is it a small ballpark, game one? I said, well, I said, the speed limit's very low. I said, the traffic is minimal. All the traffic's back here. And I said, as soon as they open up that bridge in Galliana, that will reduce the traffic even more on LA1. So I said, you know, this is a good ordinance, I've read it. Seems like everybody covered the bases. The council, the mayor, the staff, the chief of police, or department, and naturally, legal counsel. Did a very good job. And the form, whoever developed the inspection and registration form, they likewise did a form. Because when we're gonna have the chief of police and her deputies interpret and enforce that law, they want something that's either black or white. They don't want anything in between. So at the last meeting, when this subject came up and a proposal was made, I said, whoa, I said, that don't sound good. I said, here we played in a small ballpark, game one. I said, we're getting ready to start game two. I said, we're playing in a much, much bigger ballpark and a much more trafficked ballpark. Out of all the streets in Golden Meadow that intersect with the 4-lane, this is it. And a lot of times, instead of going across, I'll turn around to make sure. You gotta watch traffic from 4 directions. And the speed limit is 50. So, Connie, I gotta commend you for last meeting. I remember we taking a vote to see if we're gonna allow this. And she said, well, let's hold on here. She's gonna be deciding whether there were 2 yeas and 2 nays. And you said, let's have a public hearing on it. which I said, oh, that relieved me. I said, that's good. Because I said, if they had voted on that and enacted as an amendment to that ordinance, the first ordinance, I said, Golden Meadow would have been in a very liable condition. I said, first of all, you went through the proper protocol the first time, in game one. Went to the state legislature, got their approval, made a good ordinance with the help of Joe, and it's a very good ordinance. But I said, now if they're gonna amend it, I think they need to go back to the state legislature and get their approval to do this. And that was my idea. And my idea behind it was that we've already had fatalities of this intersection. I said, God forbid that in the future they're gonna have more. And I said, if one of these vehicles are involved, I said, and Golden Meadow said it's all right to do it, but we're breaking state law. I said, the town of Golden Meadow is going to be liable. And you know when there's an injury, personal injury, bodily injury, or property damage, or God forsake a fatality, the lawyers come in there like vultures, and they see a good piece of meat there. And who's going to be the biggest piece of that meat? The town of Golden Meadow. They sue everybody, the plaintiffs wanted to sue everybody, including Montgomery Popo. And that way there, in the final analysis, Golden Meadow's counsel, or they have to hire outside counsel to represent them in such a case. And to me, in my opinion, it's a no-win situation. You lose the case. And then you have to pay the attorneys that are representing Golden Meadow, the plaintiffs want you to pay their attorneys, and then the final settlement. So I think if we want to pursue this matter, I think we need to go through the proper protocol and go through the channels as we did with the first ordinance to amend it. And that's just my opinion, and I'd like legal counsel to give her opinion on what I said.
Well, I think that Mr. Darrell was very good analysis. Good job, Mr. Darrell. I just, I don't want us to authorize something that is promoting people in the town to break state law. I just think that is a slippery slope, and we should, I always err on the side of caution. I'm not a gambler, so that's just my advice.
Well,
Mr. Oten had the same position.
that's why she gave us this copy. But if the general public can't use it, then no special interest should be able to do it either. Nobody can call it. Don't let one group and not let another group. Whether you be escorted or not. That's my thing, just to be fair. If you can't do it, nobody can do it.
Right?
Can you just make some kind of reader where the town will be responsible?
It's a piece of paper. I will always be responsible for that.
Yes. Go ahead, Megan.
It says special, I should have said
That was said in the
special.
first meeting, but the whole thing, the whole
You know,
action, yeah,
He's going back,
yeah.
sorry, they going back to Baton Rouge and ask for that, it ain't gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. So,
DOT was against
we
it.
just gotta follow our orders and what we drew up, go back road, that's, it is what it is, it's stuff from the state, you can't go, Mr. Jarrett's meaning very well.
Yes, pacify people that would want to cross. I think if we make the effort and go ahead and let Joe run it through and them deny it,
No,
then
it's
that
a lot of
relieves the
time.
town.
It's a lot of time, Mr. Jarrett.
Yeah, I know it is.
You'd have to be there, how many was against the back road? I mean, they were nice enough to give us the early warning.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to go there, the time of an attorney, the travel time, and the time to get, you know you're gonna get rejected because they didn't want it from the first time.
Yeah. Well, we just need to bury this recommendation to amend
We just need to
it.
leave.
Shut it down and leave it the way it is. Be happy with what we are.
Right.
And I have no skin in the game. I don't own any of these vehicles. I don't plan on owning one.
But I think that vote was a public meeting, public. Voting is not public.
Well, let's see, the Alabama meeting, we should.
Well, no, now we're talking about it, that's what the
The
vote was.
question was whether or not.
Percent has a question.
So, like, she asked a question about the back road and, talked about it, but then she said something about the front road and I never said anything, but what about since it's only 30 miles an hour, like Brad would think it, and cross the road, they go to the board for work.
I don't see the rule that my buggy for.
Yeah,
Hey, look, if we want, if y'all want, we can go back and deny, we don't want to go for it, and then we want order back, we finish it.
no, I was
That's
just
what we-
asking.
I'm just saying, I
She
mean,
brought
there's
it
a
up
lot,
in the last sentence.
Sandy, there's a lot of things that could happen, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
A lot of
understand,
things,
but I was just asking.
but that was brought up, you know what I'm saying? We asking people to use common sense when they're like, when people go work on their boats, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, so we're crossing the road for where? And the back road.
Correct.
You have to go across the road. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I gotta give you all credit. Y'all did a wonderful job, including legal counsel, in documenting this ordinance. And, for the chief, it's black and white, and she can enforce the law justly to everyone and treat everybody the same.
Well, I guess we thought we were doing the right thing.
Y'all did.
Alright, so this one thing I wanna bring up, not necessary, not disrespecting either Jody or Chief's opinions, but with my parades, half of my vehicles in the parade are golf carts. And Jody, if that's excluded from the permit, then they get to the south end to go to Meadow and can't do nothing. Because
It's illegal to cross the road. If you can't, then the general.
if
public-
it's not included in a
To
permit,
be fair to everybody. If you're not gonna let the general public, let no one.
Just take different road.
but
suggestion,
my second,
Kyle,
mhm,
is that when you get to the end of the parade route, pull
my
back
sec,
up LA one.
my second part of that is, my parades, most of the time, 75% of them aren't go to Meadow residents. So they don't have a tag, they're not gonna buy a tag to just come ride one week of the year, one day of the year.
And Kyle,
We know you
another
guys-
thing, the town doesn't have property on either side of the town for those trailers to park and leave there for them to go do the parade and come back. So basically, we're gonna have no parade for the children in Golden Meadow.
And it never,
That's what it
Yeah.
boils down to.
Wait, it boils down to regular, my, she had to add it.
What I just was gonna touch on what she's touching on. So, the parade run from Ormond to the end of town. There's no place for people to park their trucks and trailers on Ormond Street, that's why they use the park, to park their trucks and trailers and get escorted through town. You know, or either that, or like Connie said, no more parades, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we
You
have
know,
nothing
you
in
can't go
town
park
for
it,
the
you can't go
kids.
park their truck and trailer on private property and somebody else said, yours, you can't go park it in the school, that's private property, you know?
Right.
So let me ask you this, if we allow them special and something happens, the town still alive?
Yes.
They're insured.
Breaking
The parades are insured.
The town still alive?
Yeah, everybody liable, but.
No more before everybody, right?
Special occasion or something.
Hold on, we going all over the place with this.
So you're taking.
First of all, correct me if I'm
A
wrong.
parade is a special feature.
What I'm saying is, you get a permit for the parade, and it's escorted.
Yeah, so I guess I'm
I say,
I'm
you be
missing the-
protected, you know, well,
The traffic is
the
stopped.
traffic is stopped and everything else. I mean, look, we don't wanna stop everything, we just don't wanna be on the back road. We're not gonna stop the golf cart from running a parade. I mean, I'm sorry, as long as you got a permit and law enforcement there, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I think it's all right.
Our ordinance is about riding golf carts along LA one shoulder.
That's it.
That is not
That's
about.
it, everything else is
It's
enough.
not about
And in the law, it says no, not in the back road.
Pedestrians shouldn't be walking.
The
through
bell is
highway
signed,
either.
and
That
you
happens
can
for
use the
30
sign.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that anymore, I'm talking about this road.
Even
If
I
you
don't ride
get
on the
a
back
permit, if
road.
you're crossing that road with that golf cart, it's illegal,
Jordan,
according to this.
according to that, yeah, there's a lot of things that are illegal that we turn our head on, but
I'm just trying to be.
we're not gonna stop the
The
people
general
from
public
riding
can't
on
cover
the
over
parade.
a special interest in,
We're not gonna stop the people and the
So
kids.
that's-
but they escort.
I'm one person at a time. We're not, once I'm sitting here and they got a permit and law enforcement on the road, I think it's let the kids ride a golf cart in a parade. I mean, we passed the ordinance so people could be ride on the LA1, not get stopped by the cop and everything else. I think that was a good thing the council and the mayor did. And it's going all over the place now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, the back road's out of the question. We shouldn't even be talking about the back road no more. It was in the law, correct? It's in the law, it's finished. It's finished in our hand. We want to help everybody we can, but now we after the parade. You can't ride at the parade. Hey, get a permit, you got insurance, the council votes on it, chief of police get law enforcement the power to help, kids are protected.
They write in the permit where the parade starts and finishes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking
That's
of,
forward.
there's a bunch of parades on the roads that start on the back road, they go up,
But
and they go down the body.
we just gotta get out of our head, the back road's finished.
They're not in golf.
The back road is finished.
Trucks.
Can you get a permit from the school just to park on a parade?
Yeah, I'm sure we can,
You
bro.
know what I mean? That would solve the whole back road.
Yeah.
Everybody walking to the schoolyard, got a permit to the parade,
But again,
put their trail there, turn there, and it is what it is.
there's already not enough things for our kids to do now.
I hate to throw myself in there, just 2 cents, and please take it for what it's worth. You have a lot of 18-wheelers that you have huge loads that aren't allowed, that are illegally on the roadway. And the way they do that is they get a permit and you get a police escort. And I think what you guys are talking about with the parades, that's why you do the permit process for the parade.
Exactly.
Just my 2 cents.
We don't agree often, I agree with no. I agree with you, man, that's a good, I appreciate you, you speaking out, and that's why you have a permit, I mean, have a public hearing to ride the back road, it's finished. I don't know how else to go about it. We gotta move on, we got other things we wanna do.
Yeah, I think we should go.
Yeah.
And if I may interject one more thing, just to kind of clean things up a little bit more. At least when I write my permit letters for parades, I don't know what the other ones do, but I include in there escort from the park to Armand Street, and then from the south end to go to Meadow, back to the park. So when when y'all approve, at least for me, when y'all approve the permit, y'all approve all of that.
Well, correct, they have a parade, the chief of police is charge of street and public safety, she makes sure we have all the reinforcement we need, as long as you don't have a problem with that. Mr. Gerald, you know what, you got the little golf cart?
Not yet. Anyway, it's not only Michelle and her department, you got the parish cops and, escort. It's a safe permit to issue. And it's pretty well covered, and I don't know if all these, groups have liability insurance in their
Because
charters.
by law, we have to.
Okay, there you go.
But I think it's
One
time
million two.
just to put this to rest. I think it's time to put it to rest, like necessarily, a big fish to fry.
So on that motion at the meeting, to have the public meeting, we need no motion to not have it now?
Well, just ask that it be removed from the agenda, because really today
I'll
was to
move- I'll
discuss
move
whether
the
we
motion.
have a second hearing.
Motion made by Lewis to remove the agenda, second by Connie, question one time.
I had one question.
That's
When
it.
Jody when Jody was referring to, in my mind, in the process of voting, there were 2 yeas and 2 nays, and I don't think it was dealing with having a public hearing. I think it was dealing with granting access to close the highway. That's what I was thinking.
It was just to have, it was not
We
granted.
did talk about that, but we have to make the motion to have the public meeting.
Public.
Okay, so that's when I
We
thought,
agreed to have the
that-
public meeting because she likes to have input from the
So
community.
now we're not gonna, since we have.
yeah, will you review the minutes just to make sure that's the correct
No,
statement?
that is,
Okay.
I made the motion.
Okay,
Made
good.
the motion.
That's good. I thought that Connie had withheld her vote, it was 2-2. And I said, oh, that's
why
good,
I
it
was
puts
talking
things to
about
rights.
it.
But I do have something to say to Brad and Sandy. I understand that y'all like to bring y'all grandkids to the park on the.
No, Brad does.
Yeah, I think
we do, but I said, so I never Joe sitting there and saying,
Okay.
look, we do this, we'll
Plenty area for
we'll do, yeah. I'm good with that. I mean,
I'm sitting over here. We just, calm it down. Good. Thank you. All right. We'll vote on Jody. Aye. Nancy?
Aye.
Mike? Aye. Yes, absent, Donnie?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. Everybody be safe. All right, Chief, that's all you have?
That's it, sir.
Okay, old business, Hurricane Audit Project, senior citizen crowd building, 50% repair, estimate completed, 1/13/26, waiting on FEMA obligation. Swimming pool building, swimming pool, bathhouse building, alternate project, working on plans to submit to FEMA, which is skateboard park. American Legion Monument, concrete slab, completed, working on monument, he is working on this, what you voted on last week. LGAP grant award, $35,000 sidewalk repair to be identified to begin the first quarter of 2026. Contractor started today doing their sidewalks.
Lots of work done. They done some stuff,
He's not playing around.
He had asked to, for the parade schedule, because he's trying to coordinate the repairs and during that time.
Okay, second Easter egg hunt on the first Easter golf cart parade.
There's that hair popping up.
I made a motion.
It's already in there, huh?
Yeah, this is just a full witness, no way.
Yeah, that's just a, it's there.
We already paid them.
Councilman Jeremy,
Yeah.
you got a report of sanitation?
Yeah, they're picking up.
Few trucks in town,
They was, they just got a few little calls they should be good. I'm gonna try to get with Sam before the parade, I'll make a sweep, at least on the front road.
And if you need to come through it up, yeah, okay.
I'll
So
get with
if
Sam.
he cleaned up and he has a pot or exactly,
Yeah.
that's kind of
That's-
dangerous on that.
That might take a little, but at least we can get with the parade.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. New business, council consider authorizing the heirs to troubleshoot and repair a 30 kW cartridge generator package in the amount of $7,322 for repair on that.
I'll say that.
Moved by Mike, second by Connie. Question on Connie, Gerald?
I have one other question before we all adjourn. Our fire district representative, we all getting ready to vote on
We're not on
something?
that. We're not on that.
Okay.
One is 2 times, man, you're taking control of them, man. 3 times. We'll vote on it, Jody. Nancy.
Aye.
Mike. Aye. Kip, absent, Connie. Aye. Okay, any other business, any other business brought up by the council? Mr. Jerry, you want to bring something up?
Yeah,
Add it to the agenda.
Yeah, could you add me to the agenda,
What
please?
you want to add to the agenda?
I want to ask something concerning our fire station in Louisville.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Jody.
I'll say.
Second by Nancy. Audience 1 time, audience 2 time, audience 3 time. We'll vote on it. Jody. Nancy.
Aye.
Mike. Skip, absent, Connie. All right, Mr. Gerald.
I don't know if Uriah is in a position to answer my question, but if you could give us a status and update on the beginning of construction of the new fire.
I'm just an employee.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, could you ask Mr. D. Dolan if you could give us a report next meeting?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
We don't wanna speak out of turn.
I want to bring up a suggestion that y'all give Mr. Jarrett his own section in the meeting.
You want to lock me in the room?
No other business